Thank you very much for coming this afternoon. My name is Jeanne Perrett. Some of you I've met before, some of you I haven't. And my main job is as an author of primary material. And I'm going to be talking today about the rather grand-sounding content, context, and emotion in language learning. Let's just get the clicker working. Which way? No, sorry. Wait. There we are. Yes, okay. And I'm going to refer a couple of times to a new pre-primary course which I and Jill Layton have just written, which is called Learning Stars. And actually, you are very lucky today because we do have the star of Learning Stars actually with us. It's a brand new course, just come out. And our hero in it is Horsey as well, so he's a puppet. But I'm not going to actually, it's not a commercial talk, we're going to be talking about activities in the primary classroom. When we think about bringing context to language, one of the easiest ways in which we can do it is by using what I would call ELT drama activities in the classroom. Can I just see if anybody here, is anybody here a primary teacher? Ah, okay, all right. In which country do you teach?
In Germany.
In Germany, okay. And how many children do you generally have in your classes?
Many.
Many.
Too many.
Yes. Well, I'm so happy that you said that because nearly all of the activities that I will be showing are to do with, mainly for classes which are big and large and when we don't have space to move around. I think it's quite easy to do nice fun drama activities when you've got lots of space and lots of time. But this is all geared to the life of, which is more difficult in crowded classrooms. So I hope it'll be useful, at least to you. Okay, so a little bit of theory first. We're not going to do very much theory, but why is it a good idea to use drama activities in the classroom? Well, first of all, because all of us have this innate desire to play out the stories of our lives. It's actually a natural thing that we do. That when we see children playing, they aren't necessarily playing imaginary stories, they're very often playing mummies and daddies, or schools, or actions that they've seen, activities that they see in daily life. I live in Greece, and I've got 4 children, none of them are now children, they are all adults, my youngest is 19. I've also got 2 grandchildren, by the way, they must just mention that, 2 little granddaughters. We live in a village in Greece. When my children were little, one of their favourite games to play outside was funerals. Okay, this is a big hit. Now you see, in Greece, funerals often happen. People are always dying in Greece. But in the village, in the village, you become aware of it, you see, because for a start the bell tolls when anybody's died, and then the bell tolls again when it's the funeral. And then there's always an open coffin, nearly always an open coffin. And you'll go to the people's houses and you'll see them there, and you'll go to the church. So it is a major part of children's lives, seeing dead people. All right. Okay. And so obviously this is something that children have to process. And the way that they process it, one of the ways they process it is by playing. So, you know, one of the children will be the priest, another person would be a mourner, somebody will be crying, and my daughter, Grace, always played being the dead person, actually. So she was always just lying on a table getting covered with flowers. Anyway, this is not an unusual game. And this is the thing, what they were doing was they were using their own great basic drama activities to understand things that were happening in their lives. Yeah? They were doing a bit of role play and a bit of improvisation. Drama also gives children a safe place in which to experiment and play around with new ideas and new concepts and new emotions. And I firmly believe that whatever else we do in our classes, that the number one thing which we must provide our children with is somewhere safe to be. Yeah? This is our number one priority. Everything else is extra. We must make our children feel safe to be anyone and to do anything, and within that we will help to guide them, their behaviour and what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable. They will learn to become sociable, partly through the things that we do in the classroom. Yeah? So being safe is very important. And then drama activities encourage group work. And almost every work that we do, everything that our children will do in later life, because part of what we're doing as educating children is preparing them for their adult life, nearly every job you have involves working with other people. Yeah? My own job is as a writer, which is actually a solitary job. Yeah? You're just sitting at a computer at a desk. But in fact, I'm always talking to colleagues, you're going into schools, you're collaborating with people. So even a very solitary job always involves working with groups of people. And drama activities can really encourage that. This is one of the most important things, that drama brings context to language. All the language that we teach our little ones will be within the confines of the classroom. All the English that they will need to use will be outside of the classroom. Yeah? So if, for instance, I just come back from Serbia, we have some friends from Serbia here, there is absolutely no reason for two little Serbian children to turn and talk to each other and ask how they are in English. They can ask it perfectly well in Serbian, as we know, yeah? Or in whatever other language. So we cannot forever be taking our children on outings to airports and beaches and shops and restaurants. So what we have to do is we have to create those contexts in the classroom. Yeah? Okay. Drama activities are truly holistic. The word holistic, I think, has become a little bit underrated. It's a word that we just use, holistic, and we don't really think about what it means. But of course, a holistic activity involves the whole person, yeah? So your minds, your bodies, your memories, your senses, your emotions, your dreams and your imagination. All of these things can be involved in drama activities, not all at the same time, okay? But they can involve all this. And very, very importantly, drama activities nurture happiness and playfulness in the classroom, and this is what we want for our children, to be happy and to be playful in order to be creative and to grow, yes, and to thrive. Okay. All right, so this is a little bit of practical work, so how do we set about doing drama activities? Well, first of all, they need to be as carefully planned as you would plan an English test, an exam, or a grammar activity. And that sometimes our more creative activities, we do them in a more random way, and they fail because we haven't given them so much thought. We need to plan them carefully. And parents and other teachers in your school also need to be aware of your motivation. So that the children don't go home and just say, what were you doing? We're playing, we're playing, we're playing. And a lot of parents really don't like to hear that you're playing. They want to know what your language aims are. There will always be a language aim. There will always be a motivation for what you're doing for your drama activities. And then, of course, the other teachers and the parents will support you. And we often think that these things can't work or they don't work because we get criticised for making too much noise or being too playful. But one of the rules of teaching is that if your students don't understand, it's because you haven't told them well enough. And so we always have to think, okay, how have I not been clear? And you do it again, yeah? And so this is the same thing, you have to do it for the parents as well. And maybe also for the other teachers or for the headmaster in your school. And I think it is worth sometimes actually preparing a handout so that people know what you're doing. Okay. All right. Any language, as you will see, this is just, we're going to do it in a practical way now. Any language at all can be dramatized. Drama activities do not have to result in a production or in a performance. There is a difference between a performance and between drama activities. And here we begin to be talking about using drama in the classroom. And you do not have to have props, you do not have to have costumes. These are all extras. You can do anything, do what you can with what you have, where you are. There is that little quotation. It's one of my favourite quotations. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. So yes, props and costumes and wigs and so on, they're lovely to have, but not all of us have space in our classroom. And many of us have to move from classroom to classroom. We don't have places to put our props and our costumes. And then always, after an active, any kind of active session, you always need to have heads down worksheets so that children can immediately sit down and calm down. There's absolutely no good yelling out, sit down, be quiet, because nobody will. But if you say, sit down and do exercise 3, page 2, little match and circle, then they'll have something to do, yeah? So you have to do all that preparation, okay? All right, okay, so now we're going on to the practical stuff. And I'm going to start with a theme which is something very traditional, all right? So, who's this? It's Little Red Riding Hood, yeah, okay. I'm just going to start with this theme, and I'm going to take this theme, and we're going to look at the story of Little Red Riding Hood, and how we can use different aspects of any story or any theme, and use them as vehicles for dynamic, interactive teaching, okay? All right, so, who are the characters in Little Red Riding Hood? Little Red Riding Hood? The mother, the wolf, grandmother, and the woodcutter. Sometimes a woodcutter, sometimes a father, and sometimes a hunter. Anyone else? All right, okay, excellent. So we've got our main characters now. All right, okay. So yes, we've got Little Red Riding Hood, wolf, woodcutter, grandmother, and then of course you can start to expand. So we can immediately start to use our imagination. And we can have birds, we can have trees, we can have flowers, we can have an enchanted forest. And within that enchanted forest, we can have any kind of character we wish. All right, we're going to see about this later. All right, so we can even have several children all being the same part. Often people do want to act out or use these vehicles of these traditional stories for drama activities. But if you do it in a traditional way, basically what you'll have in your classroom, you have one little girl who's extremely happy because she's Little Red Riding Hood, and you'll have everybody else feeling really, really disappointed and jealous. Okay, and you'll have one boy who's the wolf, and all the other boys just want to go home. Yeah? So of course, it's just this little stretch of the imagination. You can have a whole class. All the girls and the boys can be Little Red Riding Hood. All the girls and the boys can be the wolves. You can have 7, you can have a whole class. So it's just sort of thinking a little bit out of the box like that about these things. Now then, as I said, we always need to have a language aim, all right? And this is going to be our target language, all right? This is the language we're going to learn at this moment in our classroom. And it's, hello, I'm Little Red Riding Hood. Who are you? I'm a tree, I'm the wolf, I'm grandma, etc. All right, so we said we might have an enchanted forest, and we might have some trees in it. Okay, so what I want you to give me a name of a tree. A type of tree. A type of tree.
Beech.
A beech. Okay, what are beeches like? Are they large?
Yeah, big trunk.
Sorry?
Thick trunk, yes.
Thick trunk, a thick beech tree. Excellent. Can I have a name of another tree, please?
Willow.
A willow. Excellent, excellent. I'm so pleased you said willow, because if you hadn't, I would have said it. And in fact, the full name of willow is a weeping willow, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
A weeping willow. Okay, those will do. Those will do to start with. I'm so happy. It's like you're a plant in the audience, actually. All right. Oh, you're a willow. Absolutely, yeah. All right. So a beech tree is big, big, thick tree. All right, big, thick tree. So how might a beech tree say hello? Can we just all say? Can you all just say to me, hello? As if you were a beech tree. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Excellent. You really did find your inner beech tree there. Hello. I do think of actually a beech tree being quite regal because they have lovely, they can have a copper beech, they can have beautiful red and gold flowers. It's the kind of sort of King Henry VIII of a tree, isn't it? Yeah. So now we've thought a little bit more about it. We take this. Sorry, what is your name?
Colin.
Colin. Colin, you're an excellent beech tree. You all try to be a little bit more like Colin. All right. So 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
Lovely, lovely. Now then, the willow, of course, as you know, the weeping willows are those trees that bend over rivers, yes? And so the suggestion of their character is in their name, yeah? A weeping willow is obviously sad, yeah? They're actually crying, yeah? So, okay, so can we all, okay, so I'm Little Red Riding Hood. Who are you? So, okay, can we all answer, can you all say hello to me? As if you are a weeping willow. 1, 2, 3. Alright, okay, so now we can add the actual vocabulary. So we're going to extend it. So hello, I'm Little Red Riding Hood, who are you? And you're going to say I'm a beech. Okay, and you're going to say I'm a willow. Alright, so you're going to be the beeches here because you've got Colin. It's obvious you're going to be the beeches. And you here, Henry, are you paying attention or are you making that? Sorry. Henry's from IT, so you can see it. Alright, so Henry, you are with the willows. Okay, here. Alright, so hello, I'm Little Red Riding Hood. Who are you? I'm a beech. Oh, sorry, I'm a beech, sorry. So, okay. Hello, I'm Little Red Riding Hood. Who are you?
I'm a beech.
Hello, I'm Little Red Riding Hood. Who are you? Oh, that's really, okay. Oh, absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. You're extremely good. Sorry. Okay. Alright, so we've made a start. Now, of course, what I would like you to notice is what we're going to be doing throughout this session is we're going to be practicing the same language again and again and again. We've already actually done the I'm a tree or hello. We've done this, it's actually just an introductory dialogue, isn't it? It's a greetings dialogue we're practicing here. But instead of just going around the class doing it, we've already said it 2 or 3 times, yeah? We're going to be saying it even more, okay? Alright, so you see, this is the thing, the different trees might have different personalities. What about flowers? We could be flowers as well. Do you know the flower, the orchid? An orchid is a very, very, very posh flower, isn't it? You see, you even change your body language. They're sitting up straight away. So, can we all say hello? Yes, I'm an orchid. 1, 2, 3. Oh, lovely. Absolutely wonderful to meet you. Yeah. And what about, you see, a daisy. You know daisies? You know little daisies. I feel they're a little bit common. They're everywhere. They're a little bit everywhere. Yeah, I think they're a little bit South London. Yeah, but I can say that because I come from South London. So a daisy. So hello. Oh, hello. How are you? Shall we? Can we all say hello? I'm a daisy. 1, 2, 3.
Hello, I'm a daisy.
Oh, yeah, it's lovely to meet you. Yeah, all right. Okay, so these are the things that we can do. And of course, there's no reason why you can't then branch out and teach your children the names of trees and flowers. Children are also, again, they have an innate interest in nature. Yeah? You know how long it takes to take a little child along the road, they come to a stone or a pebble or something like that. So these are things that children are interested in. So within our drama lessons, we can actually have a CLIL element, yeah? We can teach them about trees and flowers. Okay, so that's different trees. Now, of course, we have an enchanted forest. We can have anybody we like in our enchanted forest, yeah? So who have we got? Who's the first character up there? It's a fairy, yes, Tinkerbell. It's a fairy, yeah, she's lovely, isn't she? And then who have we got? We've got a giant. What about him down here? He's a crazy wizard, yeah. And of course then we've got a lovely pirate warrior. Alright, so, okay. Yeah, no, not Johnny. No, this is a different. Well, you could have Johnny. You could have Johnny as well. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to change our target language now, and we can put anything in, and we're going to have simple present, question form with food. Yeah. All right. So my target language here is: do you like cheese? All right. All right, and you're going to answer truthfully for yourselves, yes I do, or no I don't. All right, but what you're going to do is this class, this half here, you are all going to be fairies, okay? You're fairies, that includes you as well, Colin. Okay, are you ready? So I want you all to ask the question, do you like cheese, as if you were Tinkerbell. Yeah? 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay. Again, I think Colin was the best. All right. Okay. And now this lot here. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. You can answer, and you can also answer as fairies. Please answer as fairies. Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. Yes, I do. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Now you can all be. You're all going to be giants. This is where you come into your own. All right. Okay. You're all going to be giants. Okay. So, do you like cheese? 1, 2, 3.
Do you like cheese?
Excellent, 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 yes, yes. All right, and now what about the crazy wizard? All right, dun, do you like cheese? Ask the question. 1, 2, 3.
Do you like cheese?
Excellent, excellent. Needs a bit more improvisation, I think, before we perfect the wizard. All right, this is my favourite, of course, the pirate. Warriors, okay. All right, so you're all going to ask me as if you are pirates. 1, 2, 3.
Do you like cheese?
Oh, yes, I do. Do you like rum? Oh, yes, I do. Do you like strawberry jam? Yes, I do, etc., etc., etc. All right, again, what we're doing is we're drilling language, yes? But instead of just all going around the class, asking what's your part, and everybody's looking out the window. We're using, basically what we're doing is we're using characterization to bring this language to life. To add some context to it, add some emotion to this language. Okay, and of course we can do it with any characters. All the things that we are doing now, obviously it would take much longer if you were going to do it in the classroom. You would be brainstorming different types of characters, and they would be play acting more and more. You can develop all of these. These are just tasters of ideas. What did I do with my little thingy? Okay. The other thing I would like you to notice is that although this is a drama-based activity, none of you have moved around yet. So you do not, it does not have to be chaos in the classroom. You can be sitting down at your desk. It's very nice if children can move around. But as we very well know, there's very often not enough space in classrooms. So this is how we can, and I hope that actually you all do feel involved in this lesson. And it's getting dynamic, it's becoming interactive, but you're all still sitting in your desk. There's been no disruption, okay? So this is practical for the classroom. All right, now then of course we've got our different animals, our different characters in the Enchanted Forest. So we can have animals, at the moment we've got a pirate, we've got a fairy, who else have we got? We can have animals. We can have animals in our Enchanted Forest. Tell me a couple of animals. A couple of animals.
A tiger.
Okay, sorry. What? A tiger. Tiger. Okay, I'm going to give you another one, a new one. I'm going to remind you of one. What about a slug? You know what a slug is?
Yeah.
Slug is the disgusting little, sort of like an inside of a snail. Doesn't do anything. Horrible little animal. All right, let's think of some more. What about a whale? A whale, yeah, that's a nice one.
Kangaroo?
A kangaroo, that's absolutely lovely suggestion there. Okay, all right, yeah, we can all be kangaroos. Okay, all right, so now this is a little activity that we can put in here. Again, this is maybe more for a pre-primary classroom, I think, rather than the primary. And do you know the game Musical Statues?
Yes.
Okay, so Musical Statues is an English party game where you dance, yeah, and when the music stops, you freeze. All right? But this is animal statues, and what you're going to do is you dance, and then I'm going to call out an animal, and you're going to freeze like that animal. Yeah? I'm not going to get you to stand up. I know it's late, it's Friday. All right, and it's late in the afternoon. You're going to just dance in your chairs, yeah? You're just going to boogie in the chair. And I'm going to sing, and when I stop, I'm going to call out the animal, yeah? All right? Okay, so, ready? 1, 2, 3. High on a hill was a lonely goat herd, oh, wait. Very good, very nice whales over there. All right, high on a hill was a lonely goat herd, high on a hill was a kangaroo. Oh, sweet, okay, very nice. Although I think some of you are copying each other. All right, okay, all right. So you get...
It's a fraction of a second.
yeah. He's like, what are they going to do? It'd be funny actually if somebody did it completely wrong and we're all doing the wrong thing, wouldn't it? Yeah. All right, okay. So again, what you do with your little ones, of course, they'd actually be getting up and dancing, and you'd have music rather than you singing. And you think about your animals as well. Okay. All right, okay, so that's that. Now then, of course, so there, we weren't actually moving, but we can now introduce proper movement into our little drama activities. And we can think of different ways of walking and talking. And this is one thing we must always do. We must walk when we talk and when we teach our English. We must move. Because often our children learn they learn how to speak when they're completely sitting down. Okay, and we so rarely are motionless when we have dialogues, okay? So this is a nice little activity, and let's think of different ways of moving. Now then, what is this guy doing here? How is he walking? As he's strolling. Yeah, a stroll or a saunter. All right, it's something that actually the British people are not very good at, yeah? Strolling or sauntering. We don't really do it. I live in Greece, so you know, I've learned how to stroll. And almost everywhere else I go to do my presentations, people all over the world know how to stroll. You just kind of sort of walk along, go nowhere, and then you kind of walk back again. Whereas the Brits are always like, okay, all right, so what are we going to do? What are we going to do? They're always going somewhere in a hurry, aren't they? All right, but I want you to find, you know, I want to find your continental side, okay, here, and you can stroll. All right, now what does this one do? What's she doing here? I'm going to remind you of a verb that some of you might have forgotten, and that is flee. Flee. Yeah, you know when you're running away from danger? Okay, I would say that she is fleeing. It's a word that we don't often use anymore. I think we ought to revive it. Yeah, she's fleeing. All right, so this little guy here, he's obviously marching. Yeah, he's marching. Yeah, and this little boy here, what's he doing?
Skipping.
Skipping, yeah, or floating. Yeah, he's happy. He's happy in a way. Right, Henry's coming out. Sharon's coming out. Okay, I'm going to come out in a minute. Okay, and your name is Suzanne. Oh, Suzanne. Okay, all right. All right, so there we go. Oh, there you go. All right, sorry, okay. All right, okay, that's right. All right, so we've got all the usual suspects now here. Poor things. All right, okay, so what you're going to do, your target language is I'm going to grandma's. I'm going to grandma's, okay. I want you to call out one of the verbs. It's either going to be stroll, flee, march, or skip. And you're going to do that action at the same time as using the language. You're going to say, I'm going to grandma's, I'm going to grandma's, I'm going to grandma's. Okay? All right, which verb should we give them?
Stroll. Stroll.
So, stroll. Give them an easy one. Yeah. That escaped from something. All right, okay. All right, wait a minute. All right, excellent. A little bit depressed. All right, okay. Are you going back to grandma? So you don't like grandma much, do you? All right, okay. Can we give them? Okay, I'm going to give them flee. You're going to flee. 1, 2, 3, go. Flee. Excellent. That's enough. Thank you. Thank you. You can imagine how the others go. All right, okay. And of course, you know, I mean, we're here, we're using language where you move things along, but there's no reason why you can't flee and say, do you like cheese? There must be some time in life where you're running and say, do you like cheese? Do you like cheese? It's great, do you like cheese? I don't know. But anyway, you can put any language in. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. It can be fun. It can be fun. Okay, all right. And of course, what you'll be doing there with the children is you'll be teaching them those different verbs as well, yeah? Okay, all right, so now let's do something sitting down work. Let's think of some vocabulary work. All right, so what should we put in our basket for Grandma?
Eggs.
Eggs, lovely.
Some jam.
Some jam, lovely. Sorry? Knitting needles, lovely. Some wine. Thank you very much, Yasmina, because you know that I am a grandma and I would much rather have wine in my basket. Yeah. Okay, so obviously the children can be thinking of all these different things. What we do have to remember as well is that if we're talking about our little children in our classes, their grandmothers won't all be old doddery things. Because if the little children are 5 or 6, the grandmas could still be, you know, in their 50s. And this is one of the things you can do with drama work as well, is you can challenge some, what am I trying to say? Challenge some regular thoughts about things, some preconceptions, yes. So that we can say, look, what was your grandma actually like? Does she always want flowers and cupcakes? Or might she want an iPhone? An awful lot of grandmothers nowadays would actually prefer to have an iPhone. And there must be some grandma somewhere that would like to have a skateboard. Obviously, this is work that we can do with vocabulary, but so you're giving it a theme, and here we can have an actual basket. You can have an actual basket. The children can either make things, or they can write things, or they can draw things, and they can put them in the basket. There's a little drama activity, a little drama type that you can do, which is called ritual. And so this is something you could do using ritual. So you've got a basket, and you have all the children in a circle around the basket, and then one by one, they all say more or less the same thing, varying their noun, yes? So this is some wine for grandma. This is a flower for grandma, yeah? This is a cake for grandma. Very, very safe way of practicing things, but they're actually doing it, a little bit of activity again. And this is the kind of thing that can be made up into a scene. And then Little Red Riding Hood, all the Little Red Riding Hoods take their baskets. All right, okay. So I say that's just vocabulary work, really, yeah? Now then, in our Enchanted Forest, we can add some atmosphere, yeah? We can add some atmosphere to our Enchanted Forest. And we can play a game called Human Orchestra. All right. So, what are some sounds that we might hear in our Enchanted Forest? What sounds do you hear in a forest?
Bird.
Bird song. Excellent, excellent. All right, so you, Henry, Sharon, okay, actually all this side here, including the cameraman, you can all be birds, okay? You can be different kind of birds, day and night birds, okay? All right, we'll have nocturnal birds and daytime birds. What's the opposite of nocturnal? I don't remember. Okay, all right, what else might we hear in a forest?
Insects.
Insects, excellent. Okay, all right, you're good. So you're going to be the chair insects here. All right, you've got Colin with you, okay? All right, okay, what else might we hear? Something else. Well, what about ghosts? Should we have ghosts? Who let's have ghosts? Should we have ghosts? All right, okay, you can all be the ghosts. All right, okay, so can I first of all hear the birds? All right, can I hear the birds? Including the nocturnal, you can be an owl if you like. So 1, 2, 3. Is this part of your Macmillan training? That when they interview this, so can you be a bird? You're really, really, really good at it. All right, okay, all right, okay. The insects, you've got a lot to live up to now. Very good. All right, and then the ghosts. You're really good. All right, okay, and then, okay, there aren't enough of us because I'm not going to take away any members of the orchestra. What you would do then in your class is you take one child out to be the conductor, yeah, of each section of the orchestra, yeah, and they will conduct the orchestra. But I'm going to conduct you all, yeah, okay. All right, so 1, 2, 3, go. Excellent, excellent. If you close your eyes, it was just like you're in the Enchanted Forest, wasn't it? All right, so obviously what you can do, that's bringing a little bit of atmosphere into our classroom. Again, we're all sitting down, we're not doing anything, didn't take any money, it was completely free craft activity. And then within that, you could put your dialogues, yeah? So you could have like your bird section doing something, and you could have your other children saying, do you like cheese? Yes, I do. Or whatever language it is you're practicing. All right, okay. And anyway, it's just a bit of fun. Okay, all right, now what else we can do is we can layer on some emotions, and we can say things in different ways. So we've got our basic basic feelings here that you might, you would be brainstorming these with children first of all, so happy, sad, angry, surprised, etc. There's one down here, I think it's a verb we often, an adjective that we often forget to teach children, which is ashamed. So you don't often see that in a primary course, the word ashamed. And it's a feeling that is very, very specific to childhood, actually. That by the time we're adults, we've usually learned not to do the things which make us feel ashamed. It's usually, generally, if we've learned lessons, it's something we put aside. Yeah? Is there some sniggering? Okay, we hope, yeah. Some of us have learned our lesson, Sharon. Yeah, okay. All right, okay. But with children, they often feel ashamed for things that they shouldn't feel ashamed of at all, as well. Yeah. So it's a horrible feeling, isn't it, when you feel bad about something. So using these activities as well might be a way of children thinking what makes them feel ashamed, and we can tell them there's no need to feel ashamed about this because you've forgotten your pencil or whatever it is that they've done. Okay, so once we've thought about all these different feelings and emotions, then again we can put some language in, but we can say it in different ways. So this is our target language now, all right? We're going to change our target language, and it's, look, what's that? All right, so let's all say it as if we are happy. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now as if you are thoughtful. Excellent, excellent, yeah. What about ashamed? Don't tell me it's something like, oh no, it's the video of me last night. No. All right, okay. All right, and what about, let's have a couple of adult adjectives to make it more interesting for us. What about passionate? Passionate. Can we say, look, what's that? In a passionate way, please. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Yeah, good. Very good. All right. And another very adult emotion, feeling is irritable. Irritable. Yeah, okay, so can we say, look, what's that in an irritable manner, please? And then, of course, what you can do is you can then have conversation dialogue. So can we now ask each other, do you like cheese? Yes, I do, or no, I don't. And I want one of you to be passionate and one of you to be irritable. Can you do it again? All right, okay. All right, just pair it up there. That's it. Yeah, or that's right, that's right. Pair up there. The language is you like cheese. Presenting Henry and Laura with "Do you like cheese?" Okay.
So, do you like cheese?
No, I don't like cheese.
Brilliant. All right. Okay. Do you guys work on the same floor in the office? They come back to Monday. Okay. All right. So, again. Okay, so we made on, and of course then we can do some more external, thinking about external conditions. We can add weather conditions as well. And of course we do actually move in different ways when it is different types of weather. Would you like to come and join in? Yes, you would, wouldn't you? Come on, come out here. Would you like to come as well? Come on, come and join in. Yeah, will you come out? That's right. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Come on, come out here. All right, don't worry, we're going to help you. We're all very supportive here. We're all extremely supportive. I will do it with you. All right, so we've got some different weather conditions. And again, we can have the same language. So, I'm going to Grandma's. Okay, we're going to say, I'm going to Grandma's. All right. So, call out a weather condition for us.
Sunny.
Sunny. All right, okay. I'm going to Grandma's. I'm going to Grandma's. Come on, come with me, come on. Are you going to Grandma's? I'm going to Grandma's. Oh, it's lovely. Oh, it's lovely. I'm going to Grandma's. All right. Yeah, give us another one.
Storm.
Sorry, a storm. A storm. Can we please have a human orchestra sound effects, please? Yeah? Oh, you guys over there. Be a storm. Be a storm. Oh, I'm going to Grandma's. I'm going to Grandma's. I'm going to Grandma's. Foggy, yeah? You know Foggy, you come over to me. Alright, I'm going to Grandma. Are we going to Grandma's? Are we? Where's Grandma? Where's Grandma? We don't know. Alright, excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Alright, okay, so. Okay, alright, this is summing up what we're just doing there. As I think you are aware that what we're doing, we're playing around with all these different situations, feelings, characters, and it means that we can practice the same language in lots of different ways, which is much more dynamic than just going around the class repeating phrases. Essentially, we're doing exactly the same job, yeah? Our end result is exactly the same, but it should be a lot more memorable, and the children in our classes will actually be awake. All right, okay, these are some worksheet ideas, all right? So these are sort of follow-up things that we can do. So what have you got in your basket? And I'm sure that you know that if you haven't got such a worksheet, all you do is you go to a search engine and you type in basket colouring page, and you get a black and white outline, which you then print off and then photocopy. You can make it into your own worksheets, very simple. This is our extension work, so what sort of fruit is growing on your tree. Again, this would be a CLIL slot, a CLIL element to the lesson that you're giving. We started to talk about trees. You might want to say, okay, which fruits grow on which trees, which fruits don't go on trees, etc. Do pineapples go on trees? I was thinking this the other day.
Yeah.
Do they grow on trees?
They go underneath the tree, like coconut.
Do they though? I want to Google that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Do they? That's what I thought. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Sorry?
They grow in a tree.
They grow on a tree.
Like a coconut.
Maybe it was April the first one. Somebody was telling me they grow in the ground. Now I think about it.
Pineapple and jackfruit. I mean, they kind of come directly out of the branches. They don't come.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. So anyway, this is kind of work that we could do branching from our little Red Riding Hood. Of course, we can do other things here with emotions. Yeah. So how do you feel today? What do our faces look like? Etc. Etc. All extra CLIL work here. What's the weather like today? Now here is a little story that comes from Learning Stars. So it's based on very, very simple language, and this is Horsey, yeah? And Jack and Lily, and in the first frame there we've got the naughty foxes have come and taken away their food, yeah? They've stolen their food, so they've got nothing. In the second one, as you can see, in Learning Stars what we do, we try to give you know, as much input to the children in a very simple way. So lots and lots of different content here. So again, this is a CLIL language, but it's also a regular little story, and it's vocabulary teaching, and it's also a suggestion for active out. There's so much going on in different levels, and you can do it whichever way you like. So here's a bee who brings honey. So I'm a bee, this is honey, it's for you. Thank you, bee. All right, and then there's a cow who's bringing milk, all right, and there's a hen bringing eggs, and a tree bringing apples, and the children are happy. Thank you, bee, thank you, Anne, thank you, tree, thank you, hen, etc., etc. So extremely simple language, but as you can see, it's a lesson that you could work up to make very rich, I hope, in the classroom. Okay, all right, I think we've come to the end here now.